for the first couple of weeks I was here in Florida, I would go to Flagler Beach and just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. And it really helped my mind kind of figure things out as I transitioned from regular life to full-time RVing. So it's cool though, coming back here and getting that feeling of kind of being home in a location. It's not really home because I spent all that time going up and down the beach. It feels like one of those places that's kind of so familiar that it's a resting place, so to speak. So I've been thinking a lot about what it means to feel at home in a place, because I've been traveling, and when I get to a place, I feel kind of, just like an outsider. And so I thought about how that feels and different ways to kind of see myself as being on a planet, living on a planet. Because I think if we look at all the things that are going on right now, really what we're looking at is a planetary thing. It's not just locally to the United States or just to your state or someone else's state. It hits all these different countries, and within the countries, it just transcends boundaries and transcends like political affiliations. And so when people are talking about, the Democrats this or the Republicans that, it's like, wait a minute, this is way bigger than that. In my mind, it's really beneficial for all of us to kind of relinquish our attachment to these different affiliations and to see ourselves as on a planet instead of, within a particular place or just a particular zone. It's like, okay, well, what does that mean in actuality? When you look at like being at home, a lot of times it's just, okay, being in one location, being around certain people, your friends, your family, and that's kind of like your home. But when you can transcend that, I feel like it can really help. And so one of the ways that I've found to transcend the feeling of just one location being at home is to go to a place, and I know it's going to sound weird, but visit these places and make them mundane. And what I mean by that is that, when you've gotten to a place, you get to know it, and so you get to know the people, and it becomes habitual. But I think with making a place mundane, the reason it's beneficial to make a place that way is because you start to see it as home in a way. Another spot that's really cool. I've been coming to for a little bit, and then luckily I had my daughter and her friend visit, and so we came to the same spot, and so it developed these kind of memories and this sense of like, ooh, I know this place, and it is just a beach. It's Ormond Beach, Florida, but I feel like in a sense it's got this ownership to it, this sense of this is where I spent some time with my daughter and her friend and got to know it a little bit. Walked a lot of beach on here and, found some shells, threw the football, ate some different sandwiches. And so all of that kind of contribute to the sense of like, ooh, yeah, okay, it may be just this beach, right? I mean, look. It literally is just a flat range of beach, and there aren't too many people here. It's in the off season, but I feel like for me, I feel like it always had this kind of like special thing about it, because I spent all this time, and it wasn't just coming to the beach. It was like, I don't know, it had this sense of, a spot again where I could just hang out and be. let's say you go and you get some tacos. At a place, if you keep going back for 2 weeks to the same place and you just hang out there for a while every day for 2 weeks, it starts to become a habit. You get to know the people there, you get to know the restaurant, and it really feels like you know the place. Even though you just are basically making it a habit for this one spot, you get to know the place. And in that sense, it's a way of making yourself feel at home, even when you're not at home, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Can I get 2 tacos?
2 tacos.
When to get the epic? And what's your special taco of the day? So I tried recording, taking the order and look at the menu. And now I'm at, there's lots of noise, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm hoping it works out all right. I'm kind of shy about recording in public, so I picked a location that's kind of in the corner, and that's why it's all like, I guess I got to get used to public stuff, but I'm no Casey Neistat, so there you go, right? Anyway, it's one of those small things, but I think in a way, the more we see the places we're at as something more than just a place, I don't feel so much of, foreign, just out of sorts. I start to feel like I'm part of the whole scene, so to speak. And that's fun, to be part of the scene. And it's fun to go back to that. And then when I think back on these places, instead of it just being like these disconnected experiences, it becomes these hangouts, these experiences they're more grounded in the place where I'm at. So instead of just having random experiences, I don't know, I feel like everything that's happening is transcending more than the places we're at and the affiliations we have, like our different political affiliations, whatever. It's much bigger than that. And so I think different ways to see it in that context and get away from, Republicans and Democrats and Americans and Italians or whatever, and realize we're all connected together. And the more we connect outside of any of those affiliations, while still retaining our culture, because I think there's this idea also within that the culture itself just kind of, we're supposed to blend together. No. We want to retain our culture. But at the same time, I think, the baddies, so to speak, out there that are manipulating so many of these things around the world, they've transcended the boundaries of the country boundaries, the cultural boundaries. They transcended everything, and their ugliness has just gone around the world and controlled the world. And so I think one thing we can do is adopt transcending all those boundaries also, but in connection, instead of creating all this ugliness, in connecting with each other, getting away from these labels that will actually keep us in boxes, and instead just go, this is what's going on. And I think when you transcend in that way, you also can kind of see through some of the cloak and dagger stuff, because instead of being affiliated, like, oh, this person's affiliated that way, so they're Republican, so they're okay. Nope. Everybody is just a person, and they're helping towards this, and everybody could be anything, and you just look at their actions instead of their affiliations and where they're from and all that kind of stuff. And I think it'll free us from those boundaries and allow us to connect like never before. So that's just some thoughts on really recently what's going on, and hope you found it useful. If you did, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.